So we just talked about the gentle techniques, and just sitting here, there's emotion coming up already. What's coming up for you? Where is it in your body? Throat. Even though I've got this emotion in my throat, and you don't have to say anything, just keep tapping. I accept myself deeply and completely. Even though I don't know what we're tapping on yet, but there's emotion in the throat.
Even though I don't know what we're tapping on, but there's emotion in the throat.
I accept myself.
I accept myself.
And I know, Jenny, you'll treat me gently. And I'm in a room filled with heart-centered women.
And I'm in a room filled with heart-centered women.
And they're all sending me beautiful love energy.
And they're all sending me beautiful love energy.
What colour is that energy? I choose to feel this love-filled energy.
I choose to feel this love-filled energy.
And know that I'm safe.
Know that I'm safe.
Even though I've got this emotion in my throat.
Even though I've got this emotion in my throat.
I choose to be able to process and release it.
I choose to be able to process and release it.
Even though there's this emotion in my throat.
Even though there's this emotion in my throat.
I want to process and release it.
I want to process and release it.
And I'm doing that now.
And I'm doing that now.
And I'm proud of myself. That I'm taking action.
And I'm taking action.
To empower myself.
To empower myself.
Even though I've got this emotion in my throat.
I've got this emotion in my throat.
And in my body.
And in my body.
It's lucky I've got tissues.
It's lucky I have tissues.
Oh, full box.
Yes, full box.
I accept myself.
I accept myself.
And everything I'm feeling.
And everything I'm feeling.
Okay, grab a tissue. Or two. Alright. Even though I've got this emotion.
I've got this emotion.
And I'm already processing it.
I'm already processing it.
I accept myself.
I accept myself.
And everything that's there.
And everything that's there.
In my throat.
In my throat.
Even though I've got this emotion in my throat.
Even though I've got this emotion in my throat.
And we haven't even got a sun for it yet.
We haven't got a sun for it yet.
I accept myself.
I accept myself.
And the way my body's processing it already.
The way my body's processing it already.
I've got all this emotion in my throat.
I've got all this emotion in my throat.
Don't even know what it's for yet.
I don't even know what it's for yet.
But I'm already processing it.
And I'm already processing it.
And I'm feeling safe in the room.
And I'm feeling safe in the room.
With a whole box of tissues.
With a whole box of tissues.
And heart-filled women.
And heart-filled women.
I'm safe to process and release this.
I'm safe to process and release this.
I'm empowering myself.
I'm empowering myself.
To process and release it.
To process and release it.
And I thank my body.
And I thank my body.
For this emotion in my throat.
For this emotion in my throat.
So I can process and release it.
So I can process and release it.
Whatever it's protecting me with.
Whatever it's protecting me with.
Whatever it's protecting me from.
Whatever it's protecting me from.
I choose to process and release it.
I choose to process and release it.
I don't even have to talk about it if I don't want.
I don't even have to talk about it if I don't want.
This emotion in my throat.
This emotion in my throat.
I haven't even got a suds for it yet.
I haven't got a suds for it yet.
But I'm processing and releasing it anyhow.
Processing and releasing it anyhow.
I'm processing and releasing it anyhow.
Processing and releasing it anyhow.
All this emotion in my throat.
All this emotion in my throat.
Letting it out like air out of a balloon.
Letting it out like air in a balloon.
Releasing this emotion in my throat.
Releasing this emotion in my throat.
Okay, deep breath. So see how I just started exactly where she was, because that's what was there. And often when you're doing sneaking up, you don't even know what you're tapping on. There's other videos you can watch where there was a lady just said, there's all this emotion coming up. So we just tapped on that, all this emotion's coming up. Didn't even know where it was in her body, just that. So that's what you had first, straight away. So when you tune into your throat now, what's going on for it? Is it out of, what is it out of 10? Let's get a suds.
It's gone a lot down now.
So it was around a 10 or 100. And now?
Maybe about 3.
Okay. And when you think of that emotion that's in the throat, how does it actually feel? What's the feeling of it?
big, not a lump, but something
Mm-hmm.
just
Like a lump. Like a
Yeah.
lump. What colour would it be? Just start tapping as you tune into it. Don't know. If there was emotion in that lumpy like thing in your throat, what would it be? Not sure. Even though I'm not sure what the emotion is,
I'm not sure what the emotion
but it's giving me this lumpy thing
It's giving me this lumpy thing
in my throat.
in my throat.
I accept myself
I accept myself
and this lumpy thing
and this lumpy thing.
that I don't know what it is.
I don't know what it is.
I don't know what colour it is.
I don't know what colour
I
it is.
don't know what emotion it is.
I don't know what emotion it is.
But it's giving me this lumpy thing.
It's giving me this lumpy thing.
And I thank my throat
And I thank my throat
for protecting me in some way.
for protecting me in some way.
And I choose to process and release it.
And I choose to process and release it.
Even though I've got this lumpy thing in my throat,
Even though it's lumpy thing in my throat.
not sure what it is,
But
I accept myself
I accept myself.
and my throat deeply and completely. Even though I've got this lumpy thing
I've got this lumpy thing
in my throat,
in my throat.
I accept myself
I accept myself
and my throat,
in my throat.
and I choose to process and release
I
it.
choose to process and release it.
Even though I don't know what it is.
You know that, right?
Lucky I've got a whole box of tissues
Oh, but
for all the emotion that's caused this lumpy thing,
it's because it's lumpy thing.
even though I don't know what the emotion is.
I don't know what the emotion is.
It's caused this lumpy thing,
Because this lumpy thing.
this lumpy thing in my throat
This lumpy thing in my throat.
that I choose to process and release.
I choose to process and release.
Because I'm the master of my body
Because I'm the master of my body.
and my throat.
My throat.
And I instruct my body
And I instruct my body.
and my throat
And my throat.
to process and release whatever is there,
Process and release whatever is there.
wherever it's come from,
Wherever it's coming from.
whatever colour it is,
Whatever colour it is.
whatever emotion it is,
Whatever emotion it is.
all the way back to its origin,
All the way back to its origin.
wherever it began,
Wherever it began.
and all the times I've felt it,
And all the times I've felt it.
releasing and letting it go.
Releasing and letting it go.
So you see how there's a wave of emotion as we tune into it. It comes up and then it goes down, and you can hear in your voice and in your energy as it's coming down. Okay, any more insight into what's going on there that you don't have to talk about?
It's like going.
Keep tapping. Look at me. Even though
Even though
I've got some insight now,
I have some insight now.
I accept myself
I accept myself
deeply and completely.
deeply and completely.
And I thank my body and my subconscious for the insight,
And I thank my body and my subconscious for the insight.
so I can process and release it.
And so I can process and release it.
Even though I've got some insight now.
Even though I have some insight now.
And I thank my throat for holding on to it,
And I thank my throat for holding on to it.
so I could process and release it.
So I can process and release it.
All the way back to its origin.
All the way back to its origin.
I thank my body and my throat
I thank my body and my throat
for holding on to it so I can let it go.
for holding on to it so I can let it go.
Because I choose to let it go like air out of a balloon,
I choose to let it go like air out of a balloon.
all the way back to its origin.
All the way back to its origin.
It doesn't serve me,
It doesn't serve me.
and I choose to let it go.
And I choose to let it go.
I have some insight into what it is,
I have some insight to what it is.
and I want to let it go.
And I want to let it go.
And I am processing and releasing just by tapping.
And I'm processing and releasing just by tapping.
The insight I have to what's going on in my throat,
The insight I have to what's going on in my throat.
releasing and letting it go.
Releasing and letting it go.
All the way back to all the times I felt it. Releasing and letting it go. Looking at me. Allowing that feeling in my throat
Letting that feeling in my throat.
to dissolve like a barocca in water.
To dissolve like a barocca in water.
Releasing and letting it go.
Releasing and letting it go.
all of the energy trapped in my throat.
All of the energy trapped in my throat.
From all of those times
From all of those times
that I felt it.
that I felt it.
All those hundreds of times. All those thousands of times. Just because I've had it there all those times
I've had it there all those times.
doesn't mean I can't get rid of it right now.
Doesn't mean I can't get rid of it right now.
And I choose to release it and
And
let
I
it go.
choose to release it and let it go.
Back through all those times.
Back through all those times.
Like a bowling ball knocking down all those pins.
Like a bowling ball knocking down all the pins.
All those pins. All those memories.
All those memories.
Where I've had this feeling of a lump in my throat.
Where I've had this feeling of a lump in my throat.
All those times where I've had this emotion.
All those times where I've had this emotion.
All those times where I've had this insight.
All those times when I've had this insight.
Rolling that bowling ball back through all of them.
Rolling that bowling ball back through all of them.
Flattening them out.
Flattening them out.
Dissolving them and letting them go.
Dissolving them and letting them go.
So they no longer exist.
They no longer exist.
I'm not that person.
Not that person.
I'm creating a new me. I have past patterns,
I have past patterns.
past conditioned pathways
Past conditioned pathways.
that my brain created.
And my brain created.
And whatever I've created, I can uncreate.
And whatever I've created, I can uncreate.
And I choose to create new pathways.
And I choose to create new pathways.
Even though I don't know what they look like yet.
Even though I don't know what they look like yet.
I trust my body
I trust my body
to release the old pathways that no longer serve me
to release the old pathways that no longer serve me
around this lump in my throat
around this lump in my throat.
and all the insight I've got from it.
And all the insight I have from it.
And all those times it was there.
All those times it was there.
It's time to process and release it.
It's time to process and release it.
It's my choice.
It's my choice.
It's my instruction
It's my instruction
to my DNA,
to my DNA,
to my brain.
to my brain.
This old pattern no longer serves me.
This old pattern no longer serves me.
It doesn't serve me moving forward.
It doesn't serve me moving forward.
And it's my instruction to release it and let it go.
And it's my instruction to release it and let it go.
Like letting that dirty bath water down the plug hole.
Not letting that dirty bath water down the plug.
I'm running myself a fresh bath.
I'm running myself a fresh bath.
All right, with lots of bubbles in it. Okay, how does that feel? Notice how I'm using metaphors as well. The bowling ball one just popped in. Don't know where that came from. All right, so you said you had some insight. All the emotion that the insight brings up
All the emotion that the insight brings up.
and the beliefs I created about myself
And the beliefs I created about myself.
because of the insight,
Because of the insight.
because of all those times
Because of all those times
that I got this lump in my throat.
I got this lump in my throat.
I accept myself
I accept myself
deeply and completely.
deeply and completely.
Even though I've got this insight,
Even though I've had this insight,
it gives me something to work on.
it gives me something to work with.
I thought I'd have nothing to tap on. And now I've got all this insight to tap on.
And now I have all this insight to tap on.
I accept myself
I accept myself
deeply and completely.
deeply and completely.
Even though I've got this insight,
Even though I have this insight,
it gives me a great starting point.
it gives me a great starting point.
And I'm grateful for the insight
I'm grateful for the insight
around the lump in my throat
around the lump in my throat.
and all the times I've had it,
And all the times I've had it.
so I can process and release it.
So I can process and release it.
I'm looking forward to these table legs
I'm looking forward to these table legs
that support this lump in the throat,
that support this lump in my throat.
because I can release them gently and easily
Because I can release them gently and easily
with tapping.
with tapping.
And I like the forest in the trees in the forest.
And I like the trees in the forest.
I don't have to get every single one of
I
them.
don't have to get every single one.
I can get the main ones
I can get the main ones
and knock out that forest.
and look out that forest.
It might be easier than I think,
It might be easier than I think,
even though I feel overwhelmed.
even though I feel overwhelmed.
thinking about all those times.
Think about all those.
I don't have to think about the whole forest.
I don't have to think about the whole forest.
And it might be a big forest
Big forest.
with lots of tall trees.
With lots of tall trees.
That's okay.
That's okay.
I've got a chainsaw here.
Change.
It's called tapping. And I'm getting those trees down.
And I'm getting those trees down.
And all I need to do is look at one at a time.
And all I need to do is look at one at a time.
Releasing the overwhelm of the whole forest.
Releasing the overwhelm of the whole forest.
I just want one to work on.
I just want one to work on.
That's a good start.
It's a good start.
I just want one
I just want one
that I can work on.
that I can work on.
That's a good start.
It's a good start.
Releasing the overwhelm.
Releasing the overwhelm.
I just need to see one tree
I just need to see one tree.
and stand before it with my chainsaw.
Stand before it with my chainsaw.
I don't have to look at it from a helicopter above and see a whole forest.
I don't have to look at it from a helicopter above and see the whole forest.
I'm just standing in front of one tree
I'm just standing in front of one tree
with my massive, loud chainsaw.
with my massive loud chainsaw.
And I'm ready to cut that thing down.
And I'm ready to cut that thing down.
Cutting it down.
Cutting it down.
I want to cut it down.
I want to cut it down.
Okay, so back to here. So if you imagine that one tree, just one. Right? How old are you?
Early 30s.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and when you think of that one memory, just go to what you saw. Right? Where are you feeling it in your body? Stomach? Mm-hmm. What is it out of 10?
8.
8? Mm-hmm. Is it a swelling? Is it a stabbing? Is it a sick feeling? You know, how did you describe that feeling in your stomach?
Just a bit of a dull pain.
Mm-hmm. Even though I've got this 8 out of 10 dull pain,
Even though I've got this 8 out of 10 dull pain.
when I think about that tree,
When I think about that tree,
I accept myself
I accept myself
in my early 30s
in my early 30s.
and I let that tree know I'm here to help it
And I let that tree know I'm here to help it.
by cutting it down.
By cutting it down.
I accept myself
I accept myself
deeply and completely.
deeply and completely.
Even though I remember that memory
I remember that memory.
in my 30s, early 30s,
Early 30s.
and I feel that feeling in my stomach.
I feel that feeling in my stomach.
I accept myself,
I accept myself.
that dull feeling,
Don't feel it.
and I choose to process and release it.
And I choose to process and release it.
Even though I've got that dull feeling in my stomach,
I've got that dull feeling in my stomach.
when I think of that tree
I think of that tree.
in my 30s,
In my
early
early
30s, and what I saw,
And what I saw.
I thank my eyes
My eyes
for holding on to it,
for holding on to it.
and my stomach
And my stomach
for holding on to it,
for holding on to it.
but I want to release it now.
I want to release it.
And I accept myself deeply and completely.
And I accept myself deeply and completely.
What I saw
What I saw.
in that tree memory
That tree memory.
in my early 30s, that dull pain in my stomach,
Dull pain in my
feeling
stomach.
in my stomach,
Feeling in my stomach.
that dull feeling in my stomach,
Feeling in my stomach.
processing and releasing it,
Processing and releasing it.
all the way back to that early 30s tree
All the way back to that early 30s tree.
and what I saw,
And what I saw.
releasing and letting it go.
Releasing and letting it go.
Letting my body know
Letting my body know
it no longer serves me
it no longer serves me.
and I want to release it,
I want to release it.
and I instruct my body to release it.
And I instruct my body to release it.
Releasing that dull feeling out of my stomach
Releasing that dull feeling out of my stomach.
and sending my stomach a feeling of peace.
And sending my stomach.
Sending my stomach a feeling of peace. Dissolving away that dull feeling in my stomach. Sending my stomach a feeling of peace. My stomach deserves to feel peace.
Stomach deserves to feel peace.
I wonder what peace feels like.
What peace feels like.
I must have felt peace in my stomach sometime.
I must have felt peace in my stomach.
joy in my stomach.
Joy in my stomach.
Having fun playing when I was a child.
Having fun playing when I was a child.
Sending that joy to my stomach.
Sending that joy to my stomach.
My stomach remembers it.
My stomach remembers it.
It knows how to feel joy.
It knows how to feel joy.
And peace.
And peace.
And I send it to my stomach.
I send it to my stomach.
Dissolving away that dull feeling.
Dissolving away that dull feeling.
All the way back to that early 30s memory.
All back to that early 30s memory.
And what I saw.
And what I saw.
Releasing and letting go.
Releasing and letting go.
Of that dull feeling in my stomach.
Of that dull feeling in my stomach.
Replacing it with a joyful and peaceful feeling.
Replacing it with a joyful and peaceful feeling.
That's what I choose.
That's what I choose.
That's what I send.
That's what I send.
That's what I instruct my stomach to have.
I instruct my stomach to have.
Even when I think of that early 30s memory.
Even when I think of that early 30s memory.
Deep breath. I haven't used an early 30s memory as a tree before, just letting you know. But it's, you know, it's a nice thing to have, a tree memory. Alright. So when you remember what you saw in that early 30s tree memory, where is it in the body now? Has it shifted from the stomach? Has it come down? Is it still dull or has it changed? Where is it in the body? Just what you saw, nothing else. So it's not coming up anywhere in your body when you think of it. It's an I don't know now. Whereas before it was straight to the stomach as a dull feeling. So go to what you heard. Where is it coming up in your body?
It's at my throat.
What is it out of 10? Look at me. This early 30s tree memory.
It's 8 or 9.
8 or 9. It's in your throat from what you heard. Does it have a shape? That feeling in your throat? If it was an object, what would it be? First thing that pops in your head.
Like a disc.
Even though I've got this disc in my throat,
I've got this disc in my throat.
this 8 out of 10 disc.
8 out of 10.
What's a disc doing in my throat?
What's a disc doing in my throat?
I should be a disc thrower,
I should be a disc thrower.
so I can throw that thing out of my throat
Throw that thing out of my throat.
when I remember what I heard
I remember what I heard
in that early 30s memory.
in that early 30s memory.
I choose to throw that thing out of there
I choose to throw that thing out of there.
and let my throat feel relaxed.
And that's right.
Even though
Being able to speak.
I wasn't able to speak, look at me. Even though I've got this disc in my throat,
Even though I've got this disc in my throat.
when I remember what I heard
And I remember what I heard.
and I wasn't able to speak,
I wasn't able to speak.
I thank my throat for protecting me,
I thank my throat for protecting me.
but it no longer serves me
But it no longer serves me.
and I want to release it.
And I want to release it.
I want to get rid of that
I
disc
want to get rid of that disc
so I can speak.
so I can speak.
I accept myself
Accept myself.
and this old pattern
And this old pattern.
and I want to release it.
And I want to release it.
This disc in my throat,
This disc in my throat.
when I remember what I heard,
I remember what I heard.
I couldn't get the words out.
I couldn't get the words out.
I couldn't speak for myself.
I couldn't speak for myself.
I couldn't speak up.
I couldn't speak up.
This disc was in the way.
This wasn't in the way.
I had this disc in my throat,
I've had this disc in my throat.
stopping me from wanting to say what I needed to say.
Stopping me from wanting to say what I need to say.
And I thank my throat
And I thank my throat
and this disc
and this disc
for protecting me.
for protecting me.
And this old pattern,
And this old pattern.
it served me well at one stage.
It served me well at one stage.
When I was a child,
When I was a child,
it did protect me,
it did protect me.
but it no longer serves me.
But it no longer serves me.
And I want to release it.
And I want to release it.
Instructing my throat
Instructing my throat.
that this disc doesn't serve me anymore.
This does not serve me anymore.
And even though I'm not sure what I want to say,
And even though I'm not sure what I want to say,
I want to be able to say it anyhow.
I want to be able to say it anyhow.
Releasing the fear
Releasing the fear
of speaking up
of speaking up
and speaking my
and
mind
speaking my mind
clearly.
clearly.
When I hear what I heard,
When I hear what I heard,
when I remember hearing that,
when I remember hearing that,
releasing that disc out of my throat,
releasing that disc out of my throat,
all the way back to the early 30s memory.
all the way back to the early 30s memory.
I wonder what it would feel like
I wonder what it would feel like
to have no disc in my
to
throat,
have no disc in my throat.
where I could speak freely. I don't know what that feels like. Open your eyes. But I'm willing to explore it.
I to explore it.
I'm not sure what that feels like yet.
I'm not sure what that feels like yet.
It's been familiar to have that disc there.
It's been familiar to have that disc there.
And I don't know if I like change. But maybe I'm willing to let it go.
Maybe I'm willing to let it go.
And see what it feels like.
See what it feels like
To speak my mind clearly
to speak my mind clearly
and safely.
and safely.
I wonder what that feels like.
I wonder what that feels like.
To speak my mind clearly
Speak my mind clearly
without any disc in my throat.
without any disc in my throat.
To speak my mind clearly and safely.
To speak my mind clearly and safely.
I wonder what that feels like.
I wonder what that feels like.
It might even feel good.
Might even feel good.
I might even give it a try someday.
I might even give it a try someday.
It might be easier than I think.
It might be easier than I think.
When I throw that disc away
And I throw that disc away
and have a clear passage
and have a clear passage
to speak my mind
to speak my mind
clearly and safely
clearly and safely
without that stress response
without that stress response
and that reaction
and that reaction
to what I heard.
to what I heard.
Releasing and letting go of that fear reaction
Releasing and letting go of that fear reaction
and response
and response.
that my body's practiced many times. Whatever I've practiced and learned, I can unlearn.
Whatever I've practiced and learned, I can unlearn.
And I choose to learn something new.
I choose to learn something new.
I choose to learn to speak my mind
I choose to learn to speak my mind
clearly and safely.
clearly and safely.
It might even be easier than I thought.
It might even be easier than I thought.
Deep breath. So see how we're still not even going to the memory, but we're working through the senses. So when you think of that memory and the senses, which sense stands out the most? Seeing, hearing, feeling? It's dulled a little now. It seemed to me from your reaction that hearing was the one that brought up the most emotion, even though it was only 8. What was the stomach? Was that 8 as well? When you tune into your throat now and what you heard in that early 30s memory, how's your body reacting now? How's your throat?
Clearer.
Say that again? Didn't hear you.
It is a bit clearer.
It is a bit clearer. Say it louder.
It's a bit clearer.
Say it louder.
It's a bit clearer.
Very good. It is, isn't it? So I want you to just tap here and tune into what you heard with that clearer throat. What's coming up now?
So I just did what I said.
Okay. So even though I did say stuff,
Even though I did say stuff,
it didn't matter what I said.
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 And I have a belief
And I have a belief
that I created when I was young,
that I created when I was young.
that what I say doesn't matter. Is that true? That what I say doesn't matter.
What I say doesn't matter.
And the law of attraction
And the law of attraction
has brought many people into my life
has brought many people into my life
to confirm that.
to confirm that.
And I choose to change my belief.
And I choose to change my belief.
So I'll attract other people into my life.
So I'll attract other people into my life.
This belief,
This belief,
what I say doesn't matter.
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 I learned it when I was young.
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 And now I found this great tabletop,
And now I've got this great tabletop.
this core issue.
This core issue.
What I say doesn't matter.
What I say doesn't matter.
And I bet I've got lots of table legs to support that.
I've got lots of table legs to support that.
And I choose to work on those.
And I choose to work on those.
Lucky we've got lots more demonstrations and practice sessions.
Lucky we've got lots more demonstrations and practice sessions.
Because I've been able to identify now
Because I've been able to identify now
one of my basic core issues,
one of my basic core issues,
my basic core belief.
my basic core belief.
And that's what I want to change.
And that's how I want to change.
When I change that,
When I change that,
that what I say doesn't matter.
that what I say doesn't matter.
And I have a different belief
And I have a different belief
that what I say matters.
that what I say does matter.
Then I'll attract to me people around me
Then I'll attract to me people around me
who want to hear what I have to say because it matters.
who want to hear what I have to say because it matters.
And that's what I want.
And that's what I want.
And I choose to put that up in a box.
And I choose to put that up in a box.
That table with all those legs
That table with all those legs
up on a big shelf
up on a big shelf.
because I'm going to take that down and start working on it
So I'm going to take that down and start working.
because everything will change then. And I'm really glad
I'm really glad
that this early 30s memory
that this early 30s memory
has been able to lead me to my core issue
has been able to lead me to my core issue.
so I can work on that
So I can work on that
and really get down to my core stuff.
and really get down to my core stuff.
Because when I have a belief
Because when I have a belief
that what I say matters,
that what I say matters,
everything around me changes.
everything around me changes.
And that's what I choose.
And that's what I choose.
Cool. So see how I snuck away? Because we could be going for a while. But it shows how I snuck up. I started where you were, even though not knowing what was going on, just the emotion, right? Then we did get to a memory. It was very also disconnected in a way, dissociated in that I had it as a tree. And we worked through parts of the body as well, so chasing the pain. But we didn't have you speak about the memory, it was just that early 30s memory. I went to what you saw and what you heard and the responses in the body. So I was using all gentle techniques, and then we got to the core issue of what I say doesn't matter. And we've packed that away for you to work on next, all right? And find the table legs that support that core issue. Yep, so well done. So see how she's happy because we've packaged that up. I haven't left her dropped in the doo-doo. Yeah?
Yep.
So well done. Very good. Very good.
Good.